My next step after I paint my body, I'm gonna go ahead and treat my bearings. Go ahead and do my thing. Clean that. This is what I do. Only me only. But I get all that grease out of those bearings, and then I soak them in full synthetic oil. Straight fresh kit right off the rip. That's what I'm doing. Alright, like I said, off the rip, took all my seals out of my bearings, and I'm about to clean all that. They come pre-packed with grease. I'm about to clean all that grease out, put my oil on my bearings, and do it up. But that's before I even started the kit, cleaning my bearings. Stay tuned. Still moving forward. Hey, what's up, everybody? A tip when building, when doing the team associated fluid diffs, perfect tool to have is some pliers. Some tweezers. You can really get the washers and really get in there and put your parts and pieces in there. But yeah, when building associated diffs, the tool to have is tweezers. That's my little tip moving forward. Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Jason coming at you one more again. Another tip that I recommend people doing is I can't remember what oils I have in my different diffs. So once I put the oil in my diff, I'll write on it 3K. So off the rip, first run with this car, I plan on having 5K in the front, 3K in the rear, and 200K in the center, or 200K in the center, or may go all the way up to 500K in the center. But off the rip, that's what I'm running. I don't think the tracks have that much grip for, 10K in the front and rear, what the kit recommends, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. I just know my last 4-wheel drive car, that's the setup I ran. But yeah, 3K in the rear, 5K up front, and 200K in the center, or maybe 500K in the center. But that's just a little tip I was wanting to give you. When you do your diffs, write what oil or fluid you have in your diff. Well, 2 cents. Let me continue building. Hey, what's up, guys? Just a little tip. Putting this piece on, this housing here, it's like concrete. They didn't bullshit us on these plastics on these housings. They put good grade plastics on it. You have to have, just to get these screws in, the MIP big handle 2mm hex, or the MIP insert hex into a power drill. But I only recommend this if you kind of got a little skill with it. Man, this B64 kit is not for beginners. I repeat, not for beginners. But alright, keep on trucking. Thank you, Associated. I love you. You move these 4 screws and you can get to your diff. This cap goes on like this. Remove these 4 screws. 2 screws here, 2 screws from the bottom. And here's your diff. Thank you, Associated. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Just wanted to share that with you. Just wanted to share it. On with the build. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm putting let's see, 200K in my center diff on the big B64. That stuff is like it stick like molasses on a cold day. Look at that. So I gotta let my diff sit for a while and let that settle down in the gears, and then I'll see where I'm at. I don't see how these guys put 500K in their center diff. Look at that. Look how slow that's going. Oh man. And I said that's what the pros are running. So I'm gonna set my car up off the rip, just like that. But yeah, 200K. Look how slow that's going. That's it, man. Alright, stay tuned. I gotta let that settle. Hey guys, another tip that I do when I'm building a kit is always open the bag or cut the bag open at the top of the seal of the bag. Always. Never cut down the bottom. Try never cut on the side. And I try never cut that bag number off. But yeah, always you can't cut your bags up at the top. Just a little tip, you know. And always keep the part in the bag until I'm ready to pull it out of the bag. But yeah, just a little build tip that I do. Alright, stay tuned. Another tip, guys, is when I put my inserts in and I'm installing my front hub or whatever, I lay my spindle here flat. Instead of trying to hold it up like that and the washers come out. Nah, I lay mine flat and then I'll assemble it on its side like that. I'll assemble it on its side. Just a little tip. Yeah, just a little tip. Sorry about that, folks. I'm not missing the rolled hex pins. They were in the bag with the shock tower. So I can mount those and move forward. Yeah. Just a little update. Hey, what's up, guys? Mounting the servo mounts here and trying to decide, should I use these spacers or not? Well, I'm using the Reedy. Reedy is kind of the same thing as a Savox. And this picture of Ryan Cavalier's car, I just zoomed in. And that picture just gave me the most info. See if I can. As you can see, he's not running any spacer behind the servo mount here. And just little tidbits like that, that information gave me the most. That picture gave me the most information. Just little tips. Hey, what's up, guys? Just a little tip. Kurt Wagner said, when you get to this point here, you want to go ahead and mount your speed control so you can use that divot to go under these braces. So that's what I'm gonna do next, is mount my speed control, and like I said, use that divot to have the ESC wire to go under the braces. Just a little tip. I hadn't even mounted my receiver yet, so that's what I'm gonna do, is mount my speed control. Make sure it clears this little thing here, so it's gonna sit out here, but make sure it clears that. But yeah, that's my next step before I mount all this down, is mount my speed control. Just a little tip, a little tip on speed control. People always say, Jason, your wire's too long on your four-wheel drive speed control. Why don't you trim that? Nah, in four-wheel drive, you never know where you're gonna mount your speed control. You might switch to low-speed car and your speed control's mounted back here, or Yokomo, your speed control's mounted back here, and your wire's got to fit up here. So just my little tip: never trim your four-wheel drive ESC speed control wires. That goes for all the wires. Just my little tip. Never know where you're gonna end up. Alright, guys, another tip. That dog bone there, I'm gonna give you a tip. The dog bone, you gotta put it inside this right here. But how you do it is you slide one of the dog bone tips right here, one of the dog bone what do you call it, nipple, whatever. You gotta slide it in this
notch first, and then this side will pop in. You can't do it backwards. You can't put the dog bone in with this notch and try to click it in here. No, you gotta put it up in here, and then it'll click down here. That's the only way to get that dog bone in. And like I said, you gotta angle it. You gotta angle it and then click it. So you put that whole end right there at an angle in here. Make sure you put that end in first, like at an angle. Like at an angle, and then click it down. But you gotta put that little, I guess you'd call it a little nipple right there in that slot first, and angle it in, and then it slide right in. And a little tip that I done was, once I got my dog bone in, I taped it down to my chassis here. I just used some old electrical tape, angled it down, taped it flat to, or taped it to the chassis so it won't keep flopping around during the build, and just keep it in place. But yeah, if you don't tape it to the chassis during the build, that dog bone there will keep coming out, and you'll have to angle the dog bone, put it in that little slot, and then it'll fall in. And sometimes it'll turn, and you can't see that little slot there. You can't see that slot. You just have to try it this way. If it don't go that way, put the nipple in this way and click it down, and it should slide right in there. But tape that dog bone to the chassis during your build, because if you don't, dog bone will flop around, and it'll just fly out, and you gotta go through the pain bullshit of putting it back in there again. But like I said, you put it, dog bone, in this slot here first, and then drop it in this one. So you have to angle it, then drop it down. Angle it, and then drop it down. Just a little tip to help y'all speed along. This kit is not for beginners. This kit is for people of drinking age, because you're gonna need some drinks. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get me a drink. See y'all guys later.